everyone, it's me, Amber, and I just wanted to take a moment to talk to you a little bit about the Fair River Forest project, which I just finished up on my channel. Now this is my first time attempting anything like this, so I can't really say whether it met my expectations or not because I didn't have any going in, but I want to talk a little bit about, where the idea came from, why I made some of the format changes I did, and that sort of stuff. So there's this ornamental garden near where Brian and I live, and we like to go walking in it during the summer. And toward the back, there's this odd-looking structure. If you've seen Grace's blog post video, then you've seen the pictures of that. So one day I was like, this would be the perfect backdrop for a horror photo shoot. And so Brian and I took some pictures. Now at that time, I don't think I had any particular plans in mind for them. I just like, scream, run away type of thing. But then I was like, what if this is like a spooky forest? Some kind of supernatural thing is happening. And so I wrote up the intro post and I wrote up Grace's blog post. And this was back in 2018, I think. My original plan was to have a bunch of different kind of supernatural stories and do photo shoots for them all. And so we did this witch photo shoot. We did a yellow ribbon photo shoot. That scary story where there's the woman who has the ribbon tied around her neck, and if it gets untied, her head falls off. But I didn't really like that I was the protagonist in all the stories. Like, it was obvious it was me, even if my makeup and clothes were a little different. So I didn't really go anywhere with that for a bit. I just kind of sat on it. Now I've been trying to get more into writing now that I've finished my PhD, and so I was thinking about ideas for things I could do, writing related things I could do. And I was like, what if I revamp the Fair River Forest project? What if instead of having it be a bunch of these disjoint stories, what if there's just this forest where people go missing and we can go through the disappearances and all that kind of stuff? Now when I started this, I didn't have a clear idea of what the end goal was. I knew that there were going to be both supernatural and human elements behind the disappearances, but beyond that I didn't know. So I kind of learned where the story was going as it went along, which isn't necessarily the best way to do things, but it's how this one played out. And so my conception for this was kind of that it was going to be like that. We had the footage from Grace's camera, and then we had newspaper articles and Willow's journal and some other stuff to help us figure out what happened with some of the missing persons. Now, why did I change my format partway through? The short answer was so that I could end the series faster. Now, my horror stories are not what drives my channel. Even a really good Let's Not Meet video is only going to get like 20 views, so I wasn't expecting huge amounts of traffic, but these were performing lower than even that, like 5 views or 3 views, something like that. And so I just decided that the best thing for my channel would be to kill it off for now, but I didn't want to end it abruptly. So instead of like just ending it and leaving it hanging in case anyone was still watching, I decided I was going to change the format to get through things faster. So we got through the first 3 missing persons cases, and originally we were going to get through all of them and, do a lot of stuff. I kind of like things that are, I like a slow burn, and so I had more of a slow plan going into it, but I think you really need a faster pace for something like this. I needed to catch people's attention at the beginning, and I think the first video kind of did that, but then after that, there was a rapid fall off. The stories weren't necessarily as captivating because why would you care about these random missing persons who there isn't really a connection to yet? Like, we didn't build any of the characters up, you didn't know them, so it makes it kind of hard for you to get attached to them and want to know more. I have a hard time seeing that because I'm a major empath, so I care, but that doesn't necessarily mean you will. And I also know a lot more about the characters. I know why to like them, and I didn't necessarily, in this short little post, convey that information very well. My initial plan was to kind of stick to the evidence-based approach, so that's why even when we get back to the present, the first post we saw through the surveillance camera, I like the idea of having the narrator only have access to records of things. But I quickly realized that that was unsustainable. It wasn't going to make for as an engaging story. It's better if you can be there in the moment with the characters, and so that's why kind of at the end of the story, we got out of that evidence focus and just went through. So, do I have any plans for the future of Fair River Forest? Kind of. Nothing concrete. I really do like the core of the story. I think there's a really strong basis here. I don't know if it was conveyed effectively in this little mini format. The first thing I want to do is revamp the series, so take the same core idea that formed these blog posts, but rewrite them to be in-the-moment stories. You know, they may have occasional flashbacks or something like that, that's fine, but make it more in the moment. Focus more on a core set of characters, because we didn't have a consistent set of characters until the end, and all that sort of stuff. I write horror, that's kind of my passion, and so I do eventually potentially want to start a writing channel, and I think that a revamped Fair River Forest that I actually put a lot of time and energy into might be a good starting place for that. Now these I wrote in like an hour or two most of the time. I didn't put a lot of time into them because I just didn't have the time, and that is one of the big downfalls. Is, you know, again, most of these stories I took an hour or two and wrote something up, and what you get is what you get. I didn't spend, you know, the days, because I'll have chapters, you know, a little bit longer than the blog posts, but not much, and I can spend days editing them. But I needed something faster so that I could produce this content for you and get it out every week. And so the downside is you didn't get as refined, as polished content. So I would like to redo them, make them a lot nicer. And then I think it could be a really good basis for a book. One thing I was a little disappointed in was that because I was trying to kill it off so fast, we didn't really have a chance to explore the supernatural side. And I think there's some really cool, I have some really cool mythology built around it that I would like to explore. So I think if we see a revamped Fair River Forest, we're going to see more of the mythology. You know, we talked a little bit about the Lady of the Woods, but we didn't go into detail or anything like that. And there's a lot of other kind of myths and legends that go with Fair River Forest that we didn't even get to see. So that's, you know, that's something I would like to do in a revamped version, is get more into the mythology. And then I think this could make for potentially a cool book. And the nice thing about books is you can go a little bit slower. You can't go too slow, you need to hook people anyway. But it might give me more time to explore some of the things that I didn't get to in this series. So those are kind of the ideas I have for going forward. Nothing concrete, like I don't have a set date. My big focus right now is just editing my novels so I can send to beta readers and all that stuff. It's been in the works for a while, and I just need to get it off my plate. So you probably won't see anything more of the Fair River Forest for at least a year. But if you really do love it, let me know. Let me know what you really liked about it. And let me know what you didn't as well, so that in the future, going forward, I can have a better sense of what makes people interested in it and what makes people tune out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and for tuning into the Fair River Forest project. I really appreciate your support. If you like this video, please consider giving it a like or letting me know in the comments. And let me know all your feedback in the comments, as long as it's constructive. So if you didn't like it, that's fine. Not every story is for every person, but what didn't you like about it specifically? You know, maybe it's not your genre, in which case you don't have a lot, you know, there's not a lot of constructive feedback you can give there, but maybe you love horror and it just was really slow, or you didn't feel connected to the characters, or, you know, stuff like that would be useful for me to know. I post new videos twice a week, funny or outrageous ones on Wednesdays and spooky ones on Sundays. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.